Hi guys, good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about the importance of the power hour, how it affects our business, how we can maximize it. And even though we call it a power hour, this is going to vary for person to person. For you, it might be a power half hour. For some of you, it might be a power 2 hour. And that's totally fine. Really, what it breaks down to is how much you're going to be able to accomplish in each category. So if you're doing a half an hour, you're going to have smaller segments of time, which means, for example, when you're talking to new people, maybe you're not going to talk to as many people as somebody who's doing a 2-hour power hour. So just you need to make it work for you. I'm going to focus on it for an hour because that's usually what most people go for. And why do we want the power hour? This really comes down to getting focused so we're effective. Because the hardest thing as a coach is we get really distracted. And when we get going, I know I'm not the only one, when they started, you get on Facebook and then you get like scrolling and then half an hour passes by and you feel like you were working, but you weren't really working. So hi, Alvin. So what we really want to do is break down what are the most important things we want to do for our business. Make sure we hammer out those things. And then once they're out of the way, then you know you've done the core activities that will grow your business. Once that's done, anything on top of that is just gravy, but you know that you've put in the work that you need to do to get your business moving forward. So, a little bit. So with the tasks, I've written down 10, and you may have something that you feel is really important that you want to add to this list. And that's fine, but these are ones that are really important to do on a daily basis and get in the habit of. And I did go with a list that really is applicable to all coaches. If you are, let's say, diamond rank and above, you're going to need to add to this list that you need to work with your coaches. That's something you need to do daily. So you need to work that into this list. But I wanted to go with the generic list that works for absolutely everybody, that everybody needs to do. So, number 1, what should you do? Log into your coach online office every day. And I know as a brand new coach, when you log in there, you're like, why am I logging in? It's all zeros and all of this. You want to get in the habit of it because it's very quick that we build up momentum, and you want to train yourself to get in the habit of going in there, checking for new customers, sending them emails once they've signed up, welcoming them, introducing yourself, that kind of thing. Really, that's something that we want to be doing every single day. You also want to check in case some of your customers have emailed you to ask you questions. You want to check rank, volume, all of that kind of stuff, just to be on top of the ball, because it's important to be in the habit of that. As you progress in the business, you want to be able to know, okay, my rank is going to change if X, Y, and Z doesn't happen, so I need to make sure that I take care of this in the next day, 2 weeks, something like that. It's going to be different every time you log in there. The next thing you want to do is check your emails. Now, you might do your email primarily through your coach online office, or you might use maybe your regular email. Maybe that's Gmail, something like that. Make sure you log in, check whatever you need to reply to, get that out of the way. Number 3, your social media activity. That's where we really need to make sure that we're posting daily. Really, as a brand new coach, make sure that you're posting at least once a day. We do want to aim to get to the point where we're posting 3 to 5 times a day, but I want you to always remember that content is king. So really be on top of what you're saying is more important than putting out 5 posts a day that don't really engage anybody. So really share your heart. We have talked about social media before, so I won't get into a whole bunch of depth here. If you're really unable to get online a whole bunch, you can schedule posts, like on your Facebook fan page, for example. Just be aware these generally don't get as much exposure, but it's better than not posting anything at all. So, for example, if you're like, I'm going to be away on vacation next week, you're going to want to pre-schedule those posts. Challenge group check-ins. You want to show up every day because we want to lead by example. So you want to be posting in your challenge groups, and you want to be commenting on your participants' posts and liking them and engaging with them. Really up to you how you want to create value, if you want to share recipes, all that kind of thing. That's individual to style, but make sure that you're posting your workout every day, your Shakeology every day, and engaging with everybody's posts in there because they want to know that you're there to support them. The next thing we want to do is make sure that we're inviting at least 3 to 5 new people every single day. Yes, 3 to 5 new people. And as you all know, that means we go through our friends and family list very quickly. And so we need to get into that habit of finding new people to talk to. Again, I have talked about this in social media posts before. How do we find new people? Just to recap, you can go into general interest groups on Facebook. You can run Facebook ads, different platforms. You can attract people. And a lot of that's coming through the hashtags you're using is going to target your ideal audience. After that, we want to follow up with 3 to 5 people that we've previously talked to. And this is why keeping lists are really important. This way you track who you've talked to in the past so you know who you want to follow up with. So who you talked to last month, you're going to want to talk to again this month, see how they're doing, offer support. And really the magic is in the follow-up in this business. Most people do not say yes the first time we talk to them. I believe the statistics show that it's usually in the 5th to 7th follow-up that most people say yes. And that's why we get so much traction from building and doing this over time. After that, you want to make sure you're checking into the coach groups. So that's going to mean checking in here in Team Rage. Most of you are also part of different teams or you run your own team groups. You want to be checking in daily, being engaging actively, and this way you can keep up with the current news. And if you're running your own group, you want to make sure you're providing good content for your team. And after that, we want to make sure that we're setting new goals and reviewing the ones we have. See if we're on track. If we're not, what can we do to tweak to make sure that we're hitting that next goal, that we're getting to that next spot in the business that we want to hit. And track your progress. As I mentioned before, well, how do we follow up with people? We keep lists. So that means maybe you have a checklist for your power hour. Definitely write down who you're talking to, and you can use short forms like followed up with them, all this kind of thing. I always laugh and say, F you, but you know, it is what it is. We want to make sure that we're going, okay, we followed up about a challenge group, or I followed up about a coach invite, and you can just use short forms for that if it works for you. And of course, very important, make sure you're doing your personal development, whether this is reading a book on personal development, watching something on YouTube, ebook, e-reader, anything. It doesn't really matter, but it does matter that you're getting it in every single day. And even though I put it last on the list, I actually suggest doing your personal development first, because this gets your mindset ready to be able to handle everybody you're talking to. Because some people aren't really fun to talk to some days. It happens, right? Where we get somebody and they've just had a terrible day or a terrible week, or somebody's passed away or something's happened, and sometimes they take it out on us. That happens. So it's really important that we get our mindset right first before we go out to tackle our day, because that way we can handle whatever comes to us. And that is how you want to do your power hour. Now, how do you make sure that you keep it to the hour or 2 hours or whatever you set aside for your business? One of the best things I can suggest, most smartphones have stopwatches now, or if you actually have a stopwatch, you can totally use that. And break it down. You're like, okay, I've got 10 tasks. That's what, like, math, like 6 minutes each. But as we know, not all of these take as long as the others. So you might need 3 minutes to check your Coach Online office, and maybe you checked your emails and there were 0 there. It's gonna vary a little bit day to day. But you want to make sure that you break it down. So you're like, okay, I'm setting aside 5 minutes to check my Coach Online office, 10 minutes to do my invites, 10 minutes for my follow-ups. You know, you kind of have to work it to what your goals are and the amount of time that you've set aside for yourself. So you kind of work it in. 10 minutes for personal development, you're really good. Tracking your progress, that might take 1 minute to write down, you know, the names that you've talked to. So you got to vary it up so that you're keeping on time. So the stopwatch helps us get in those habits and get a checklist. That's a great way to be like, okay, I did that, I did that, I did that. But this does work differently for every single person. So you do need to find the system that works best for you. So that is the power hour. It gives us laser focus. It keeps us on track. It makes sure that we're actually being productive on social media instead of just scrolling the pages. And really, at the end of the day, we help more people this way. And that's what we're all here for. I hope this was really helpful. Have an awesome day. I'll talk to you later, guys.